Competency Standard number 14 is understand statutes and regulations that govern architectural practice within U.S. jurisdictions to provide services legally. If you're viewing this from another country, this competency standard is still important because your country probably also has some specific laws and regulations governing the practice of architecture. If not, there's ethical standards. In this particular case, this competency is covering the U.S. jurisdictions because every jurisdiction has an Architects Act. This is a law that governs the practice of architecture in each state. There's 3 bullet points that architects need to be able to do at the point of initial licensure. And this is comply with laws and rules of architectural practice in the jurisdiction in which they practice. If you are a licensed architect in Wisconsin and you're not licensed in Minnesota, you can't go to Minnesota and offer your services as a licensed architect in that state. Each state is separate. You would have to get a separate license for Minnesota. The second bullet point, solicit services in compliance with professional and legal practice requirements. In other words, in your state, you actually have to comply with laws when you're offering services. That's a protection of the public who are buying your services. Third bullet point, understand the regulatory requirements for continuing professional development. Every jurisdiction has requirements for continuing education and being able to develop ourselves as architects professionally. Staying up with laws, staying up with new compliance regulations in various forms, staying up with technology, staying up with safety requirements. Continuing education is really important for professionals of all sorts to be able to maintain a contemporary level of understanding of the practice of architecture. I do want you to know that what you can do right now with this competency standard is study. Read the Architects Act. Actually, you can go to the website, most likely with the state, the department that regulates the practice of architecture, and download the Architects Practice Act. Actually read through it, learn it. You will actually have to know some of this stuff in order to pass the licensing exam. There are some common denominators throughout the Practice Act of all states that are consistent, and you will be tested on it in the exam. But you also have to understand the laws, because if you break them unknowingly, it doesn't matter. If somebody complains and they file a complaint against you and you've broken those laws, you're in big trouble. So know the laws and practice in accordance with them. That's what this is all about.